by thanking Sharon and her staff for all of the time they put into setting up for tonight, Patty Irwin and Lucy Reyes for doing all of the programs this evening, and to Lois Dilley, who did the beautiful flowers on the stage. I want to welcome all of you to the graduation of Cloverdale High School class of 2011. I wish to extend a special welcome to the parents, grandparents, and other family members of graduates, as well as the Cloverdale School Board and the high school faculty and staff. The students in front of you tonight have met and in many cases exceeded the academic requirements necessary for graduation. In a few minutes, if they all behave, they will receive their diplomas, and one important stage of their lives will conclude and another important stage will begin. While it has taken individual effort for all of these students to reach this point tonight, none of them have gotten here alone. They have been helped and supported by their families, their friends, and by dedicated, extremely patient teachers. You, the graduating class of 2011, will be my first graduating class as principal. So I have some very high expectations for you. This will probably be the last opportunity I have to give you some advice and direction. So allow me to make the following suggestions. Keep learning. You may think you know a lot now, and perhaps you had to learn some things here at CHS that you didn't especially want to learn. But lifetime learning will more and more become essential for success. Most careers require continuous skills and knowledge development. If you are not continuously learning, you will fall behind. And let's face it, learning keeps life interesting. Be involved. I hope you leave Cloverdale High School with a good sense of value of community involvement and the responsibilities of citizenship. You all participated in community service hours each year, as well as the annual Community Day events. Through service clubs such as Interact, Boosters, Key Club, and Fire Explorers, some of you went beyond what we required and gave of yourselves in very generous ways. Stay involved, volunteer, work with others, build your community. Keep an open mind, but be discerning. Every day, through the media, the internet, and a variety of other sources, you are being bombarded with information. Some of this information has value, but a lot of it does not. Be a discerning consumer of information, nurture a healthy skepticism, and ask the right questions. Don't just consume, consume wisely. See the world. They say the world is getting smaller because you can turn on a computer and access information about every corner of the world. With a few computer strokes or the push of a few buttons on the smartphone, you can easily call someone on the other side of the planet. But in fact, the world is still a big, mysterious place. There is simply no substitute for the physical experience of being at a place like the Grand Canyon, or the Eiffel Tower in Paris, or the Great Pyramids in Egypt. And witnessing the difference between cultures, languages, and customs is tremendously important. And last but not least, be kind. Mark Twain, an author you are all acquainted with, said, "Kindness is the language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see." A kind gesture, even a small one, can have a big impact. Find opportunities for kindness. You'll feel better about yourself, and you'll make the world better at the same time. Time does not allow me to give you all the advice I would like to give you, so I've left out the part about tattoos, piercings, doing flips off school equipment, gauges, and streaking. I'll just let it go at that. I congratulate you on your graduation from Cloverdale High School. I hope that you have had a good experience here and that we've prepared you well for success. Please remember that you will always be welcome at CHS, and I hope you'll check in now and then to let me know how you're doing. Now, Ms. Franson would like to say a few words.
Don't we have the most wonderful principal? Just so happy to have her. And I think she was the perfect one to succeed wonderful Mr. Lyle, who is sitting here tonight. He came for you, Mr. Gene Lyle. Let's give him a hand. Okay, some people have called me a Pollyanna. I just say that I'm optimistic. And I often find hope, validation, and wonderful new ideas in books. What Are You Optimistic About, edited by John Brockman, is a collection of essays written by the most brilliant minds in the world today. They write about what gives them hope. It's easy in an age of doom and gloom to be negative about the economy, society, and your future. Professor of Neurobiology Leo M. Chalupa has this to say: I am optimistic that by the middle of this century, it will not be uncommon for people to lead healthy and productive lives well past their 10th decade. So high schools, kids of today, who believe they will be forever young, may well have their wish granted. You may be productive into your hundreds. Juan Enriquez of Biotechonomy believes our freedom to create, to work fundamentally to alter our circumstances is unprecedented. For better and worse, science and technology provide ever greater power. You have many options. Helen Fisher is optimistic about romantic love. She says the rise of romantic love within marriages is increasing rather than decreasing. Nathan Myhrvold, Chief Technology Officer of Microsoft, states, I think the focus on pessimism is hugely misleading. The pattern of the last 5 decades is that, by and large, the most important factors in human life have improved immensely. There is no better time to be alive than today. And by any rational estimate, things will continue to improve. Alison Gopnik, Professor of Psychology at UC Berkeley, says optimism isn't essentially a matter of the rational assessment of the future. It's an attitude rather than a judgment. It's the most characteristically human attitude, the one that's built into our DNA. The greatest human evolutionary advantage is in our innate ability to imagine better alternatives to our current world, possible universes that could exist in the future, and to figure out how to make them real. It's the ability we, in its earliest forms, in the fantastic pretend play of young children. And I knew many of you when you were young children. So there you have it. You're going to live longer, have romantic love, have wonderful job opportunities, and create new universes. In short, there's no better time to be alive than today. I'm optimistic about the futures of you graduating seniors sitting before us. What are you optimistic about? Thank you.
Okay, be respectful as your senior class president gives her speech.